Hello, this is Gerald Johan van Waas and the educational channel of demonstrations. And this video is this time not about the sounding form, but about the color theory that I also have published a book about, as you can see. And I will talk you through it. What is this book about, and how can you use it also for the letters? I will tell you in a very short video what this is about, what this color theory is about, not how I came to it, but how I see it. The book is basically about the color attraction. I first had a very small review about this theory in the book Changeling of Seasons. And as you can see, there are four different regions which can be compared to the seasonal changes as a kind of yin-yang balance. And the colors, they are attracted to each other as we are psychologically attracted to each other. Everything that comes to existence follows certain rules, and also our psychology follows certain rules, and they can use color for this, and we have a kind of color attraction that is having an effect upon us. Why this is so why these frequencies that are working like this, I didn't figure out, but I figured out how there is a balance between all the colors, and that you can, and especially in psychology and also in spirituality, they can be used and are very inspiring in a way. The first inspiration came from A Man and the Symbols from Carl.G.Jung, where he explained how colors are used in children drawings, and they have a certain tendency to use always colors in a certain way. Like blue is at the right and red is at the left for the emotion, and blue for the rationality. And the next book I have used as an inspiration is the Tibetan Book of the Dead, where you can read how people are experiencing the attraction towards colors when they die. As a matter of speaking, it can be used as a psychological tool as well. And there is a certain order in colors where you can attracted to. You can also when you don't do that. So when you're not attracted to the bright colors but to the dull colors, it has a different effect. But the bright color should inspire you to go to the right path and continue to get to spiritual liberation of what you're dealing with in your life, and how you dealt with things in your life, depending on which moment you deal with this theory or these ideas behind it. And of course, the basis of all color theory still comes from Johann Wolfgang Goethe, and he wrote the basis for our current color theories. I changed it in that way. I started from Goethe, but I also noticed that there are realities that are slightly different, so that we have that at certain points, at certain applications, we use colors differently, and that's how I came to different color circles with the different realities. I accepted these realities that you had certain realities that had different ways of using colors. I used them, and that's how I came to this theory in the end. So the Tibetan Book of the Dead says, okay, we have blue as a main background focus. This is actually a reference to our rational background, that we are seeking order in things. The blue part is then the rational part, and the red one is the emotional part, just at the opposite side. So it's very easy to understand how that's how it works psychologically. That's also how Jung saw it. The first tendency of man is that we idealize our way, how we perceive things, what we our goals are. So our reflection of reality is very idealized. It's also not very realistic, and that was the first thing that was mentioned in the Tibetan Book of the Dead. The real purpose of going further, of making things more ideal, was not following the idealizations, but making things more realistic. And the realistic color of white is in the middle. It's the sublimation. So it's a sublimation of all colors that, yeah, that if it is filled in well, you will have a higher frequency and you will get to the white light. That's the main inspiration. This white light is a bright white light. That's also something of the Tibetan Book of the Dead. We start from our human conditions for what we think is important, what we achieved as being important in our lives, and how we achieve things in our lives, and we follow we follow our own attractions. This can be intuition, this can be the automatic attractions, this can be friends, this can be all this kind of thing. This is the color yellow, and by following this intuitive path, let's say, we also try to focus on the idealizations, but these idealizations are not realistic. So we have to come to the next step, which is the ratio, the blue color. And the blue color will filter the idealizations a little bit and make it more realistic. When it's more realistic, we also come more to the real circumstances, the background circumstances, and if we can really see them as they are, we can derive from there natural processes that come out of it. We leave the natural process out of it, and that's the green color. And it's also everything which is prosperous comes automatically out of it. It leads to the materializations. That's from the yin and yang, that's the black part. It's materialized this time for sure. We know that it is realizable and that it is realistic, and everything which comes out of it, if it's positive or negative, it doesn't matter. It also will show more physicality, and this physicality is sensed in the emotions. It spontaneously emerges in the emotions in the red color. And then, of course, we will get new human conditions which we will develop, and we have the full circle. That's basically the spiritual path of colors, which is also explained, and I have a lot of examples in this book, is the path which you should not follow. So when you go too fast and you want to achieve things, the next steps too soon, it will slow down the process and will darken the colors also. The blue will become dull blue, the green will become dull green, the red will become dull red, and the yellow will become dull yellow, or dirty yellow, let's say. And these are associated with certain features psychologically, and this is described in my book. I will not explain it now. In the color theory, the color theory that I use spontaneously in Sound Inform, or in all the explanations in the videos, that I use a lot of times the three colors of contrast, the red, blue and green. And actually they also help in a way to achieve the becoming realistic, the making realistic of the goals. First thing you experience is spontaneous red. It emerges, and it is actually also has an aspect that is not there yet. So you didn't achieve a certain aspect yet. It's the negative thing also, the negative impulse. That's why red sometimes is associated not just as positive, sometimes as negative. It comes out of the black, it's red, positive and negative. Some things are not prosperous, but they are achieved, and we have to do something to make it more realistic. We have to compensate it a little bit, or we have to find a solution. And this is the solution is, of course, again, the green thing, the successful compensation, the yes impulse. That's what I used a lot of times when I've used colors in my schemes. I used red, the no impulse, green, the yes impulse, and then in the end it's neutralized. I have a realistic continuation in blue. That's what I used in color in my practical presentations. The vowels that can be added in the schemes are the E, or the spontaneous growing, the I, or the intuitive new things that emerge, and the O, the continuation. As you can see, it's also a balance of yin and yang. The A is actually can be everywhere in the process. We are engaging the process, so it is at the right spot there. In the yin and yang ideas that you can find anywhere, you have the balance between a and wa. And wa is the automated effects that you have, the shadows, let's say the automated shadows from everything that you produce. Helpful sounds are of course in the making of the process. The K, it's the goal to change something. You want to change something, and you want to, because you have to change something, otherwise it's not a progress in the full process. It will break apart certain things. That's one of the things that you can have. After the O, the R is the continuation, of course, of the process, successful continuation. The M will help you to materialize things, to make things, just as you hear with the M. And the T will help you to make a distinction from what you get at the end of the process. These are vowels and consonants that have a vast meaning, and here you can see them on this yin and yang process with colors. And the Y is then the idealized human condition. The purple is actually our full human achievement, good or bad, it doesn't matter, but the Y is even focusing at what can I use from it? What can I use from it practically? Other letters that can still help you is the H, to open up processes in the ideal conditions. The N is after the M, of course, the materialization. You make something, so the N, you make something, you realize something. And with the L, that's what is possible to realize. You get something spontaneous out of it. The L, I'm not sure if it would really be at that place, but in the yin and yang process, it fits there. Different from my theory with the yin and yang process is that the S is actually placed elsewhere as orange, and compared to the full process, it is the stimulation for what we as humans can use and what is good for us. So it is realistic goal, but also in a stimulating way. That's the underlying process still as a stimulation in the process. Orange is the color for health, for everything which stimulates physically and progresses even from there, whatever that means. And then the L is also at a different spot as I expected it. It's the contrast for this. It's stimulating for the process itself. And then, of course, we have these two deliberate focuses on top, the S and the L, or the orange and the light blue. And together we have all the 12 colors of importance, so which I quickly have explained in this video. So we have the 4 colors of psychological attraction that are most important. In the foreground, in the background, you also have purple, or the human conditions that we associate ourselves with orange as then the stimulating thing in the process, and the other thing that is in the background, the gray, is actually all the real material realizations in the background, the circumstances and so on, in which blue is the stimulating thing in the process. And then of course you have the white and black as the yin and yang in itself, comparable also to the light and darkness if you would like. And then the light green, light gray and the dark gray are also stimulations in the process as well. They have a darkening gray in the yin and yang, so it can be darkening or it can be whitening, getting lighter. The pastel colors, for instance, I compare them in my book with the bodily functions. So all the lighter colors are the intakes. So you take out some elements, but not much. So there's not much color, and it's actually an idealizing situation. It's a physical situation, so that's why it's between black and white. It's not about the psychologically color, but there are some colors taken in, and the elimination of the darker colors. So that's also psychologically, the darker colors is you need some more time to eliminate, to get used to something and so on. The slower process are the darker grays, and the lighter, the pastel colors are, there's also slower process, but slower process because of not of the materialization, but because of the idealizations that are involved. These are very, very, very short and very basic. All the colors in a psychological way explained in this very short video. I hope you enjoyed this. So this book is out just now, so you have really a lot of explanations there that are especially explaining the psychological effects of color attractions. And I also explained some of the things that I have in my other books about how I use colors and why I use colors, and a little bit of extra you have in this video as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. This was Gerald van Waas. There's a website too where you have mostly the list of demonstrations of the sounding form. But also the other books are explained there as well, and you can find some information there as well. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to keep receiving updates and more demonstrations. Thanks again. Bye bye.